A warm welcome to this 37th annual general meeting of your company, NCL Buildtek Limited. This meeting is held through video conferencing in terms of circulars issued by Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the applicable provisions of Companies Act 2013. The company has taken all the feasible efforts under the current circumstances to enable the members to participate through the video conferencing and vote at this AGM. Before I hand over the session to the chairman, I would like to emphasize on certain points. The company is availing the services of CDSL for remote e-voting and e-voting during the AGM. Those of you who have not cast your votes through remote e-voting has an opportunity to cast your votes during the meeting through e-voting system provided by CDSL. The meeting was kept open 30 minutes prior to the meeting, and it's open till 30 minutes after the commencement. We have the requisite quorum, around 50 people join for this meeting, and we can conduct these proceedings. Participation of members through video conferencing is being counted for the purpose of quorum in terms of provisions of Companies Act 2013. The facility to appoint proxy and cast vote for the members is not available for this AGM. However, the body corporates who are attending can appoint the authorized representatives to attend the AGM through video conferencing and participate and cast their votes through e-voting. The notice dated 10th August 2023 convening this annual general meeting and a copy of annual report for the financial year ended 31st March 2023 has already been circulated to members of the company electronically, whose email IDs are available in the reports. We have today 7 speakers registered for this AGM. All the shareholders who have not have been provided the specified links to log into the meeting, and we shall be allowing them once chairman directs this. Shareholders, those who have not registered themselves as speaker shareholders but are attending the AGM, if you have any queries, you can email it to company secretary. And for the smooth conduct of the meeting, all the members will be in mute mode. Audio and video will be enabled once the question and answer session begins. Please note that, as per the requirement of the law, the proceedings of this AGM will be recorded and transcript will be available on the website of the company. Now I request our chairman, Mr. Kamlesh Gandhi, to address the members. So please.
Thank you, Divya. You confirmed that we have the necessary quorum.
Yes, sir.
This meeting. Dear shareholders, I welcome you to the 37th annual general meeting and would like to begin by introducing the various directors and invitees of this meeting. We have Mr. K.V. Vishnu Raju, Independent Director, who's joining us on the video conferencing from USA. We have Ms. Madhuri, Director from Hyderabad. She's also joining in from her home in Hyderabad. We have, not necessarily the order which they're sitting around me, but I'll just go, they'll raise their hands to acknowledge their names. We have Mr. D. Niranjan Reddy, Independent Director. We have Mr. K. Ravi, Director. We have Mr. K. Gautam, Director. We have Mr. Subaraju, Managing Director, who's on the immediate left. We have Mr. V. Vijay Raju, Executive Director. We also have Mr. K. Satya Subram, Executive Director. We have Mr. H. Natarajan, Corporate Advisor. We have Mrs. Divya Bharti, Company Secretary. And we have Mrs. B. Madhvi, Chief Financial Officer of the company. Joining us through VC is Mr. Anand Rao, Statutory Auditors, Mr. A.J. Sharma, Secretarial Auditor, and Ms. D. Somaya, Scrutinizer. I'd like to mention that the notice given the meeting, as mentioned by the Company Secretary, has been emailed to the members and also published on the website of the company. I further like to bring to your notice is that the notice may be kindly taken as read with the permission of the members, since it's been there with them for quite some time now. Maybe the way we can take it as read.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The Register of Directors Shareholding, Register of Contracts, copies of audited financial statements, etc., are available on the website for inspection to the members. I once again like to welcome my colleagues on the board and dear shareholders. Good morning to you all. On my behalf and on behalf of the board of directors, I welcome you to the 37th annual general meeting of your company. It is gratifying to note that the shareholders from different parts of the country, Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Vizag, and other places are able to participate in the meeting and interact with the directors. This has been made possible by the facility of the meeting by the audiovisual mode which is permitted by the statute. I would consider this to be one of the positive outcomes of technological innovations necessitated by COVID. Shareholders of companies are spread across the length and breadth of the country and even overseas. Without this audiovisual means, they would have missed the opportunity of participating in such meetings. I am satisfied with all the efforts made by the company to enable members to participate and vote on the items being considered at this meeting through electronic medium. I would also like to thank CDSL and the team in the secretarial, HR, and IT departments of the company for making these arrangements. Friends, the audited financial statements are already in your hands. I'm sure that some of you would have questions and suggestions. The able team of executives led by the managing director will address all of them in the course of the meeting. I just have one little request here. If a shareholder has asked the question, kindly don't repeat it because it will save everyone's time, because the questions will all be noted from various people and all will be answered subsequently. The year that has gone by has been a year of further consolidation after coming out of the trauma of COVID, which forced the company to skip the dividend in 2021. I'm glad that we are finally back on the dividend list and are able to declare a total dividend of 30% for the year, subject, of course, to your approval. The only regret during the past year was the joint venture between NCL Buildtek and its industries to supply material for the housing project of Andhra Pradesh government did not perform up to its potential. On our side as a company, we were geared up and in a position to fulfill our commitments, but the AP government was unable to release orders due to various constraints at their end. However, I'm pleased to report that payments for material supplied have been received. We're prepared to supply the required quantities whenever the government reinstates the project. Friends, we're all aware that India has now paused for a quantum leap in economic growth. The recent success of the Chandrayaan mission, the successful completion of the G20 summit, have boosted and reinforced the confidence of the world in our country as a destination for investment and growth. The announcement of several projects at a global scale augurs well for the construction and infrastructure industry, in which your company is very well placed. We do have some exciting plans for participating in the growth in terms of enhancement of capacities, widening the geographical range of our operations, and gearing up for the future challenges. The managing director will give you more details about the progress and plans of the company when he interacts with you. I can only say that we look forward to an accelerated growth in the coming years. On this optimistic note, I once again welcome you to the 37th annual general meeting. Members, the full auditor's report has been emailed to the members, but in time it has been published on the website of the company. May I request the auditor to read the operative part of the auditor's report and kindly take the full report as read. May I, Mr.
Yes, sir. Good morning to all the shareholders, the board of directors of the company. At the outset, I would like to express our regret for a small error, typographical error in the audit report, in the standalone, in the consolidated. The UDIN number has wrongly been mentioned. The correct UDIN number has already been intimated to the company. Now I will read the operative part of the audit report. We have audited the company standalone Ind AS financial statements of Messrs. NCL Buildtek Limited, which comprises the balance sheet as at March 31st, 2023, the statement of profit and loss, including other comprehensive income, statement of cash flows, and the statement of changes in equity for the year then ended, and notes to the standalone Ind AS financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, and to the best of our information, and according to the explanations given to us, the aforesaid standalone Ind AS financial statements give the information required by the Act in the manner so required and give a true and fair view in conformity with the accounting principles generally accepted in India, including the Ind AS. In the case of the balance sheet of the state of affairs of the company as at 31st March 23. In the case of the statement of profit and loss of the profit for the year then ended, in the case of the cash flow statement of the cash flows of the company for the year, and in the case of the statement of changes in equity of the changes in equity for the year then ended on that date. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The next item we would like to take on is to invite comments and queries and suggestions from members. In this regard, for the orderly conduct of the proceedings, I would like the following procedure to be adopted, which is quite universally acceptable. The company secretary will announce the name of members who have conveyed their intention to speak. Each speaker would be permitted 3 minutes. The mics would be muted on completion of the speech stroke allotted time to go wait to the next speaker. The managing director and his team will note down the suggestions and comments and respond at the end of all the queries that have been raised. Divya, can you please go ahead and explain this to people?
For the orderly conduct of the question answer session, will follow the procedure. The name of the registered speaker along with the folio number and DPID client ID and number of shares will be announced. The CDSL host will enable their audio and video, and the shareholders will confirm their identity and by stating their folio number or name, and they can express their views. Time allotted is 3 minutes, and we request shareholders to keep their questions very brief and avoid repeating questions. Shareholders may note that the company reserves the right to limit the number of speakers asking questions depending on the availability of time at the AGM. Now we'll begin. Mr. Arjun, please enable the video and audio of Mr. Praful Chawla, the first speaker of the day. Mr. Chawla?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Please proceed, sir. DPID.
चेयरमैन सर, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर, मेरे साथी शोल्डर्स सर, 2017-19 में जो प्रॉफिट आया था वो प्रॉफिट कब आएगा, वो मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन है। इसके बाद फिक्स डिपॉजिट का मैंने 2020 में या 21 की एजी में बोला था कि हमने फिक्स डिपॉजिट किया है, हमको बैंक से डिटेल्स आता है, लेट होता है, हमको पासबुक में एंट्री कराने को जाना पड़ता है, कभी मेल नहीं आता है। आप लोग क्यों मेल नहीं करते कि आपका पैसे हमने रवाना कर दिए, हमने बैंक में भेज दिए। मैं 3 साल से एक ही बात करते आ रहा हूँ, पर वो सिस्टम क्यों नहीं लगाते। हम फिक्स डिपॉजिट करें, इसमें से 1 रुपया, 2 रुपया, 5 रुपया, 10 रुपया, नहीं तो पूरा इंटरेस्ट आप ही रख लो कि हमने पैसे रख लिए। वो तो बोलो, आप क्यों मैसेज नहीं करते। हमारा फोन नंबर भी है आपके पास, हमारा मेल आईडी भी है फिक्स डिपॉजिट में, तब करना क्यों जरूरी नहीं समझते हैं। हमको इंक्वायरी क्यों करना पड़ता है हमारे बैंक में जाके। आपकी तरफ से मैसेज आ गया तो बस है। दूसरा है, मैंने स्पीकर रजिस्ट्रेशन किया, साथ में एजीएम रिपोर्ट की हार्ड कॉपी के लिए भी रिक्वेस्ट किया था। मैडम ने फोन किया मुझे, प्रिंटिंग को दिया है, प्रिंटिंग को अभी तक आया नहीं। शायद पैसे नहीं दिए होंगे, प्रिंटर को तो नहीं दिया होगा, नहीं तो अभी तक तो आ जाना चाहिए। जो भी है, वो भी बात में पहले भी बोल चुका हूँ, फिर वापस ये साल भी बोलना पड़ता है। मैं तो 3500 शेयर्स मेरे पास है टोटल, मेरे फैमिली में पूरा अगेंस्ट में वोटिंग किया है। आपका ग्रुप कंपनी सेक्रेटरी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं देता है, इसलिए भी मैं अगेंस्ट में जाता हूँ, ये बात पे भी आगे जाता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Yeah, please enable audio and video of Mr. Bharat Shah, DPID 120514000, client ID 001200180, holding 1,312 shares. Mr. Bharat Shah. Yeah, Mr. Shah, please.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, sir, S. Gandhi, sir, our founder, Mr. K. Madhu, sir. First, to pay to our Vice Chairman, Mr. K. Madhu, sir, I know that how much hard work he has done bring this organization of both NCL Industries and NCL Buildtek this level. And we hope that his hard work will bring good results in coming
years. This time record turnover was there, profit was good, net income around PAT of 19 crore and 30% dividend was liberal dividend. Like public, we may go with public. So we hope that as soon as now our turnover is expanded, our company will be on stock exchange listing list. And all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shah. Please,
Thank you, sir.
please enable audio and video of Mr. Suresh Chen Jain, folio number 44662, holding 112 shares. Suresh Chen Jain. Mr. Jain, please.
हेलो, आवाज आ रहा है सर?
हाँ, आ रहा है.
आदरणीय चेयरमैन सर, उपस्थित सभी डायरेक्टरगण और शेयर होल्डर साथियों, सर इस कंपनी से तो मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, क्योंकि मैं ट्रांसफर को जो हमारी मिसेस का दिया था, मेरे को 3 दिन के अंदर ही ट्रांसफर करके एक 500 शेयर भिजा दिए। मैं कंपनी सेक्रेटरी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने 1 वीक के अंदर मुझे ट्रांसफर कर दिए, पर एक शेयर अटक गया सर, और संदीप के नाम का, और सुशील का और मेरा, तो ट्रांसफर को मैं भिजा दिया। और मैं कंपनी को के फेवर में बात कर रहा हूँ सर। आपने जो कार्य किया प्रशंसा के योग्य। हमारे को साउथ के आप कम कर रहे थे, उसके बदले में आपने हमें बोनस के रूप में हमें जो दिया, उसकी हमें खुशी है। कमल, एक मिनट।
चेयरमैन सर, मैं कमल किशोर बोल रहा हूँ। मेरा टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम है, मेरा ऑलरेडी स्पीकर रजिस्ट्रेशन है, मेरा होल्डिंग शेयर्स है 1200 के ऊपर है, 1200 के ऊपर है। और सर मैं तो एक कंपनी में जब 20 साल के नीचे पहले जब वो शेयर खरीदा, अभी तक मेरे पास शेयर है, पर इतना बोलता हूँ आप डिविडेंड दे रहे, बहुत अच्छी बात है। और बीच में 2 साल डिविडेंड दिए, फिर अभी अपना कंपनी 2 साल से डिविडेंड दे रहे, बहुत बड़ी खुशी की बात है। पर अभी तो सब कुछ अच्छा हो गया सर, अपना डिविडेंड कुछ इंक्रीज करिए, डिविडेंड बहुत कम है। और आपका शेयर कब लिस्टिंग होंगे, आईपीओ आएगा या नहीं आएगा, उसके बारे में बताओ। अगर नहीं आता है तो हम जो लोग आपके पास जो शेयर लिए है, एक 500 में आप शेयर बायबैक कर लो। ये हमेशा आना, आपका जो साल का 20 लाख का खर्चा होता है वो पूरा खर्चा बच जाएगा, मीटिंग करने का जरूरत नहीं है। आप पूरे बायबैक हमारे शेयर 500 रुपए से बायबैक कर लो, बहुत अच्छा रहेगा, कुछ भी खर्चा नहीं रहेगा। और मैं आते दीपावली दशहरे की शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ। और सर अभी अगर ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो एवरी ईयर ऐसी वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस रखिए और अपना डिविडेंड का कुछ इंक्रीज करिए साहब। इतना अच्छा बिजनेस चल रहा है, अभी सब कुछ कोरोना के बाद सब कुछ अच्छा बिजनेस टर्नओवर होता जा रहा है। जैसा डेट सिटिंग भी साहब लेते हैं, शेयर होल्डर को क्या देते हैं, खाली डिविडेंड देते हैं, साल में कुछ भी नहीं देते। खुद आप सबसे अच्छा है, शेयर पूरा बायबैक कर लो 500 रुपए में। लास्ट ईयर भी मैंने बोला, अभी भी बोल रहा हूँ, पूरा एक्सपेंस में बचेगा। आपका जो डिविडेंड है बायबैक करे तो आपके प्रोमोटर को भी आपको डिविडेंड आएगा, बहुत अच्छा रहेगा। एक कंपनी का आना पूरा सेविंग हो जाएगा, आगे आपकी कंपनी बहुत स्ट्रांग हो जाएगी। और हमारे सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट तो एक चीज मैं तारीफ करूंगा, इतना तो है, कभी भी कुछ बोले तो हमको रिस्पॉन्स देते हैं। मैं उनको सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट को धन्यवाद देता हूँ। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you, Mr. Jain. Yeah, host, please enable audio and video of Mr. Sagar Praful Shah. DPID IN3 00020, client ID 11761463, holding 35,889 shares.
Madam, enabled GB Joes first.
Wow.
Next.
Okay.
Good morning, respected chairman. Myself, CB Jose, speaking from Cochin. Happy to be part of this meeting, sir. I think I am audible, sir.
Yeah, you're audible, sir. Please proceed.
At the outset, I would like to congratulate the board of directors and team NCL Buildtek for the excellent working results for the year 2022-23. I have just 3 questions or clarifications from the management. Sir, what are the capex plans for the year 23-24 and for the next 5 years? My second query is, when do you think, sir, you will achieve a turnover of rupees 1,000 crores? And what are the challenges to reach to that level of turnover? And third question and final question is, sir, what are your expansion and diversification plans in the immediate future? I thank you for giving me opportunity to participate in this meeting. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Mr. Sagar Shah. Please unmute yourself and express your views.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, very
Okay.
good.
So I have three questions. First question is that the company has indicated that it would like to focus on high margin business, which is aluminum doors, windows, and flooring solutions. Now, to get a context of this, I wanted to understand what is the total, what is the percentage revenue contributed by this segment as of now, as a percentage of total revenues, and how is the growth rate that you expect in this segment? And what is the margin approximately? I am expecting it to be north of 10% because 10% is our whole business, what is doing. So this is first question. Second question is, we've indicated that few plants have been commissioned, new plant will be set up in Rajasthan, and few things are being lined up in terms of capex. So I'm expecting that we expect a good revenue growth in the next 2-3 years. So if you can give some guidance, it can be a ballpark figure like 10 to 15%, 15 to 20%. What revenue growth are we expecting? Because I think 3-4 new plants are being commissioned. And thirdly, I just wanted to understand the management perspective, in the sense they've said that we don't need funds, so that right now we are not going for an IPO. But at a time when we've finished some capex, we are doing more capex. If we don't need money right now, when would we need money? I don't think then we would need money at all. But it is ideally best to go for money when we don't need money, because if we really need money, if our balance sheet is not good, people would ask for distress valuations. If we don't need money and we raise money, I think that's the best part of it. That's it. These three questions. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Shah. The final speaker of the day, Mr. Yogesh R. Doshi, client ID 1106690, holding 13,135 shares. Mr. Doshi. Yes, Mr. Doshi.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. First of all, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Very clear.
First of all, my tribute to our chairman and founder, Mr. Madhu. Fortunately, I was one among you to be in touch with him since last so many years, and whatever he has done as an industrialist and as a human being is a great, I think, thing. And I was so fortunate to be with him since maybe 11 or 12 years. So God bless his soul. And I hope we carry on his legacy as a shareholder and as a management. Second thing, I think I would like to congratulate our MD and his team for the best turnaround in last year or so. Since COVID, I think we were into a deep trouble, and with his ability to bounce back and the profitability which we have achieved is quite commanding, and I heartily congratulate him. Second thing, I think I would like to put my view that we have got one listed company, which is NCL Industry and NCL Buildtek. Both are into more or less building materials, except cement. Both are doing same business. And even we go for the businesses which are sometimes jointly tendered. We have same management, we have same stakeholders. Can it be possible to merge both the company so that we don't have to go for an IPO? And we have good top line, good reach, pan India, and I think the shareholders of NCL Buildtek will have a better valuation because of listed entity. What are your views, I mean, Mr. MD and other board of director who can give their thought whether it is possible, or if it is not, then listing is a must for any entity of our size, because I think it creates a value for shareholders. Otherwise, it is always subpar to its intrinsic value. And about margins, I believe it is better than last year, but it is still, if we see the net margins has more room to improve. It is still 2.5% of top line. Can we improve that by adding more products or more geographies so that top line improves and our fixed cost, and can we reduce our interest cost also? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we are done with the speakers.
Okay.
Now I
That's
request.
the end of all the speakers for the day.
Yeah.
Well, we have the mandatory team to take up each of the queries and respond to the points raised by the shareholders today.
Okay. Thank you, shareholders, for joining and for registering to speak. Thank you, Chairman, sir, and the Company Secretary for organizing this. So I'll just quickly group the questions that have come up into some themes. So Mr. Zibi Jose, with regard to the turnover of the 1,000 crores and the challenges that we face, so essentially that has been, so every year we prepare a 3-year strategic plan, a rolling 3-year strategic plan that focuses on some of the key strategic priorities that we focus on. Yes, our goal is to reach the 1,000 crores. And with regard to the challenges that we expect, it's essentially people, process, and systems. So I think if we look at employee expense as a ratio of net sales, I think before COVID in 2019, it was about 14%. Right now, with the increased turnover, the employee expense is about 11%. So there has been efficiency squeezed out of the system. And with regard to increasing the turnover to 1,000 crores, I think one is adding the high margin products, and also the rolling strategy that we've implemented of geographical penetration in existing markets, and also geographical expansion. To that effect, we are seeing returns. So for example, we have a coatings plant in Rajasthan, Chaupanki, Rajasthan. Over the last 3 years, we've been seeing about 20-25% growth in that area. And also coatings, which was about the North region, which was about 15% of our total coatings volume, now represents about 25% of our total coatings sales. So things like these we are focusing on. And also we have some planned products and in the pipeline. So for example, I focused on the aluminum windows, which represents a significant opportunity for us. And also this was raised by Sagar Shah. And also I mentioned this in the foreword to our annual report. So last year, aluminum represented about 4% of our total windows business. So which is 2% of the company's sale. The prior year, FY22. In FY23, it was about 8%. In FY24, we are tracking that to about 9 to 10% of our total window sales. So we are seeing 100%, 200% growth, but there is significant potential to tap that market. And the flooring solutions that I mentioned is essentially the tile adhesives market, which is currently 1 to 2% of our total coatings volume. We essentially expanded our portfolio from about 4 products to about 15 products. In the next couple of months, you will see some continued focus in establishing our channel partners, the dealer network, distributor network, and also some media campaigns. With regard to the revenue growth, I think part of, Mr. Doshi had mentioned after a couple of troubled, and everybody, all the shareholders recognize that after a couple of very stressful COVID years and significant raw material prices, our focus entering into FY23 was enhancing profitability while normalizing a little bit on the top line. From FY22 to FY23, we had seen a 54% increase in our top line. That had been in FY23, that had been normalized to about a 12% growth in top line. But our EBITDAs have increased significantly, I think from 5.9% to 10.1%, and in the EBITDA absolute numbers has increased by about 94%. So we will continue to focus on profitability because we know the challenges that we face due to lack of profitability. So it's a balance between profitability and expansion that management and the team will continue to focus on in FY24. With regard to the expansion and diversification plans, like I mentioned, North is going to be of significant focus, the product expansion in aluminum and tile adhesives. With regard to the IPO, there have been a couple of comments with regard to the IPO. At this point, the company does not need to raise funds for the expansion plans. And like Mr. Sagar Shah mentioned, it's better to raise money when we don't need it than we need it. I think I would put it a different way. It's is there a business need to raise those funds? I think I would tie it to that rather than being financially bad situation and trying to raise funds. Obviously, that would be extremely hard. But at this point, we do not have any significant capex plans to warrant raising funds from the market. I think when we looked at this IPO plans about 3 years ago, at that time, the organization had raised about 55 crores for the commissioning of the Nellore plant, the Nellore AAC blocks plant. Now that term loan has significantly reduced to about 22 crores. So even if you look at debt reduction as an option for raising the funds, even that need has abated. With regard to the merger of NCL Industries and NCL Buildtek, we have not considered that. At this point, that's not in the pipeline. Yes, it's absolutely right that it's within the same group, but the strategic focus of NCL Industries and the strategic focus of NCL Buildtek have to align and make sense to the shareholders. I think that is what we will consider if at all it comes to the table for a consolidation. And again, NCL Industries is a publicly traded company. They have their shareholders, they have their obligations. So I don't want to put anything on the table. With regard to the margins and the net margin that Mr. Doshi mentioned, yes, there is definitely room for improvement. I think one of the significant challenges, or not challenges, but the significant cost that we've incurred with regard to the net margins is essentially the finance costs and the depreciation on account of commissioning of the Nellore plant. So in essence, those are contributing to a decline in the net profit. Our EBITDAs are trending quite well. I think just to give you a sneak peek of where we are going for the first 4 months, 5 months of FY24, our margins have increased further from FY23. For example, in the blocks division, FY23, we've ended at about 6.9% EBITDA. So for the first 5 months in the blocks division, we are clocking an EBITDA of about 13%. So those margins are being squeezed out of the system, and we expect to maintain and also improve those margins. And what Mr. Doshi mentioned about adding more product lines and geographies, I've kind of alluded to that. We expect A reduction in interest costs because there's been an upgrade in our rating. We've also moved bankers from SBI to Yes Bank. Due to the performance of the company, due to the reduction in the debt, our interest costs have gone down. And also we expect to see an increase or decrease in interest rates because of an increase in our rating. So I think I have addressed most of the questions that have been raised. If there are any other questions, please feel free to reach out to the company secretary. We'll be happy to answer and address those.
I think we've covered that portion well. Thank you, Mr. Managing Director. Now I request the company secretary to explain the voting procedure for the purposes of those who are not very familiar with it.
As informed earlier, any shareholder who have not cast their vote electronically yet and who are participating in the meeting has an opportunity to vote their cast their vote during this meeting through e-voting system.
Madam, lost the voice.
Yeah, I'll just go through once again. Dear shareholders, as already informed, any shareholder who have not cast their vote yet electronically, they have an opportunity to cast vote during the meeting, and the voting window will be open for 30 minutes once the meeting concludes. Upon the conclusion of the meeting, scrutinizer Soumya will compile her report and submit to the chairman, and that would be made available on the website of the company within the next 3 days. And now I read out the agenda items for this meeting. First, ordinary business to consider standalone and consolidated audited financial statements for the financial year 31st March 2023 and the reports of the auditors and directors thereon. Second item, to declare dividend for the financial year ended 31st March 2023 and to appoint a director in the place of Mr. K. Ravi, who retires by rotation and is eligible for reappointment, and to appoint Ms. Kalidindi Pooja as director in place of Mr. Ashwin Datla, who retires by rotation and eligible for reappointment. With respect to special business, fifth item, appointment of Mr. Kalidindi Gautam as director. And sixth item, reappointment of Mr. Kamlesh Suresh Gandhi as an independent director for the second term of 5 years. Seventh item, remuneration to cost auditor ratification. These are the agenda items, and we are happy to respond to the further queries of the shareholders attending this meeting and who has not registered as speakers. You can send your queries to my email ID and we'll answer it accordingly.
The results of the voting would be displayed on the company's website on receipt of the scrutinizer's report. And now I declare the meeting is closed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Stop recording. Thank you.
Madam, can we stop the recording and end the session?
Please end.
Arjun?
Sir.